You know, folks, about 2 weeks ago, I saw a post on Facebook that absolutely incensed me. Somebody said that they would not include our Western Harmonics fan in any kind of comparison or review or rating. And I got to say, over the past 6 years that this product has existed, I've sent out thousands of these guys, different variations, but there's been thousands of them that have gone out. And we've done this without funding, and we've had to do it on pre-order, where our customers come in and support us by paying for a device before it's manufactured. And because of that, it's the only reason our device exists, because we're an American company, we're not in China. Folks, our products are the result of, our customers back in 2013 and 2014 and in 2012 and a little bit of 2015 sort of giving us some input and advice on what they needed, because there was literally nothing. And I can tell you personally, as a founder, there was not a penny put out. I've had this company for 14 years. There has been no, you are a solar company or you are a manufacturer, here's the program, here's the funding. It has not existed. And I have spoken to hundreds, literally hundreds of people trying to obtain funding for this company. We were left out of this post that I saw, and they said, well, they're not included because of their ratings. Well, first of all, we've been on pre-order for about all of this year. We were out of stock for about 10 months. I did not allow pre-order because where we're from in Arizona, we have been a target. There is a lobbyist who is up in Phoenix that started some stuff at the Better Business Bureau, really tried to hurt my company and my brand reputation, and everybody else that's come along after that has been utterly horrified at what they see on the internet, because on the one hand, we are the industry leader, but you wouldn't know it if you read what local powers that be have to say. Because in Arizona, all they do is ignore us. We're not even invited to any programs. I have yet to be invited to a single technology anything. And, as far as funding is concerned, they've gone through a fortune over there, but there hasn't been a penny put out. And the Better Business Bureau of Tucson, on its own, has maintained a complaints page, fishing for complaints, since the company was started. We have an A rating, but you would never know it. I've asked for years for them to take this down. They ignore that. Us little peons out here in the public, we don't know what they know. Meanwhile, I've sent out thousands and thousands of orders. This fan right here was a drawing at one point, and here we are today. They were nowhere to be found. There was no support there. Might have an A rating, but when they index a complaints page deliberately underneath your business name on purpose, because that's what the culture is there, this is how they operate. I don't know. What can you do with it? We've made the best. We're making more of the best. And I'm going to show you right now why we're the best. What we have on the left here is the original authentic article, the Western Harmonics fan, and what we have on the right here is the Chinese battery fan that is designed to copy our floor fan. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a comparison on these two, and I'm going to show you why it's important as an American to support your own people, because when you don't support your people, and companies like mine spend 5 years being a target for misinformation and all sorts of things said about me as a founder and our products, designed to just keep us from having any kind of success, and already in a system that does not fund its people, because it doesn't. It doesn't provide anything. So we've had to basically rely on being a good product and our customers supporting us. That's the fan on the left. The fan on the right is something that has been come up with over the past year or two, designed to copy our product, and is fully funded and in stock on Amazon Prime. That is no accident. And that's a lesson that as a nation we need to learn about what it means to support your people instead of do low-level stuff like I just witnessed go on. Because honestly, of the two of us sitting here in front of this camera, the one on the left is lucky to exist. The one on the right feels that it's entitled to just take advantage of the situation. And honestly, as a country, this is why we do not have manufacturing, because I can tell you, they don't give you a tax credit, they don't support you. Anytime you apply for money, they always have some obtuse nonsense about why they can't fund. And, you know, on the right, you have an example of what happens when funding is actually applied. Okay, we had to go through the development cycle. We have American business expenses. We have all of this culture that we get to deal with here around money. And the folks on the right over here just get to sit back, watch that with some popcorn through the internet, visually try to copy what we've done, but we're going to show right now what the difference is in performance. And you're going to see right here on film, this battery fan on the right moves about as much air on its high speed when it's working its heart out to capture the same position that the Western Harmonics fan does on a low speed. So the low speed on Western Harmonics is the high speed on the battery fan. Everything you get beneath that on the battery fan is less. Everything you get on the Western Harmonics fan is more. Of the two, the Western Harmonics fan can be plugged into the grid and powered directly by the grid or solar. The battery fan can be recharged by the grid or recharged by the panel, but runs off an integrated lithium battery. So let's take a look. We're going to prove that what I just said in terms of performance are facts, and what I just said about the funding situation in this country is absolutely a fact. On the left, we have the Western Harmonics fan. On the right, we have the Amazon Chinese analog. This is how they look in the box. Let's open it up and get them out and see what we got side by side. Okay, this is them out of the box. On the left, we have the Western Harmonics fan. On the right, we have the Chinese battery fan. Okay, folks, on the left, we have the Western Harmonics fan, which is a 12-volt DC fan with a brushless motor. It is powered in the kit with a 100-watt panel or a wall plug-in adapter. It's also compatible with 12-volt DC solar battery systems. On the right is the Chinese battery fan, which, if you look on the center, in the back of the fan, we have a black enclosure. What we have going on is we have a lithium battery in here that is going to power the motor to turn the blade. So the one on the left, the Western Harmonics fan, is powered by 12 volts DC. The one on the right is powered by an integrated battery pack. Okay, for demonstration purposes, I've gotten out a Western Harmonics 100-watt panel that can be purchased with the floor fan. This floor fan is available with or without the panel. And then the extension cord that runs between the fan and the panel, which is 25 feet, and that's on the left. On the right, the battery fan comes with a smaller 30-watt panel and then has a 15-foot cord that is part of the panel itself. So for today, what we're going to do is we're going to connect the panel to the fan and see what the readings look like. Now, folks, by no means are these going to be laboratory grade results, but we do have a measuring device here that is good enough to get an accurate measurement across two different devices, and we're going to be using this. And the way this device works, there is a small fan at the top here, and the wind that is produced by these floor fans is going to spin that, and the RPMs that is spinning is going to display on the screen the reading for how much airflow we've got moving. And also, to keep it completely honest, because there are people that will question, this right here is a piece of flat bar aluminum. And what I've done is I've placed it on the back of this fan, and I've just gone to the end of it and put a box on here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this measuring device and I'm going to set it on this box. We're going to put it right on the edge, just like that. That way we have an accurate measurement of distance from the fan to the device. And then down here, we're going to have our reading. Now there will be some wind when we do this, so there will definitely be wind noise, but to get the results and to keep it completely fair, I think this looks like a pretty good setup. So let's dive in. Okay, I've got this turned on now. If you look right here, we're at feet per minute. We're not going to be getting anything right now. It's sitting perfectly still. But this is how we're going to attain our reading. And what we're going to be measuring is how many feet per minute are coming off of the fan. And that's going to tell us the velocity of the air and the quantity of the air. So let's dive in. I've got this anemometer completely stopped each time I hit a speed setting on a fan. So we're starting off from stop, and then I will go over and put it on low speed, and I'm going to follow the same for the Western Harmonics fans. These will be stopped. Every time we do a speed setting test, this will be stopped. So 0, 0, and we are at feet per minute. So the number that displays here is going to be the foot per minute for the low, the medium, and the high speed using the dial setting on the battery fan. So let's start off with low. We have a dial. It's going to pop, didn't do anything. We're going to turn on. Okay, so we come all the way over here to turn on. Okay, according to that, it's all the way on high, but that's not high. So I'm going to assume that's about low. It seems to be about the point where it started. Okay. We're getting 440, 50, 72. Okay, that's low. Turn this back off and we will go to medium. Okay, everybody ready? Okay. So we're turned on, so we'll go right around there. Seems to be about medium. It's definitely pushing some more air. Maybe that's actually medium's about here. All right, let's take a look. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's go back over here and dial it up a little bit more. See what we get. Okay, for getting these readings on the Western Harmonics fan, what I've done is I've just moved everything over. We've got our bar down in there. I don't know if you can see it. There we go. Okay, so that's just about at the distance to the blade. This is the same setup. And what we're going to do is I'm going to start off by showing there is a difference. Okay, we use a switch, toggle switch actually. This is going to be the low speed setting. Okay, just to show how we got this powered, I've got the 100-watt panel out here. It's about 1:30 in the afternoon, and this is facing due west. The sun is at about 1:30 in the afternoon in the sky, and the panel's facing off due west. Now, if you do want to notice something here, there is something to pay attention to. I've got this panel lifted up from flat. Quite a few of our customers have not read the instruction sheet on panels. Any solar panel that you use, you definitely want it lifted up from flat and aimed at the sun. Ideally, this would be aimed south. This is currently aimed west. And this is the Western Harmonics 100-watt bifacial panel. And what I've done is I've just run the cord through the door here in, little one says hi, here into our fans so that we can do this test. Okay, so I've got essentially the same position for the measuring. We're going to start off with low speed. Western Harmonics does not include a dial speed setting. They've got 3 dedicated speeds: on, off, low, medium, high. We're going to start off with the low speed. So let's go with that, and we're going to see what we spin up. Lined up just kind of right in between the outer edge of the blade and the inner edge of the blade, so we got how much, we're not in the center of the fan, we're actually getting the wind. Okay, so low speed, this is what we're reading for low speed. Okay, now we're going to test the medium speed. Okay, we've got everything ready. Let's go to high speed. I'm going to call this the 9-foot wind test. I'm about 9 feet back from the fan, maybe 10 feet. Okay, that's the difference between the two. You can visually see the speed difference on the blade. And the airflow on the battery fan, working its heart out on high speed, is about half of what you get off a Western Harmonics floor fan.